the town hall. They all run together in my mind. But you said at one of them that nobody can point to an example where you took money from a group and changed your vote. The Sanders campaign afterwards sent out an excerpt from a book from Elizabeth Warren in which she suggests that you took $140,000 from the banking interest and as a result, according to Warren, not me, changed your vote on a bankruptcy bill.
Right.
Now, I would love it if you would address the substance of the allegation and also the fact that Sanders' campaign sent it out, but Sanders himself backed off from making the charge himself.
Well, that's their typical, artistic smear. That campaign sends out something, gets people riled up, and then they say, oh no, we're running a positive campaign. Enough. Okay, I'm glad you raised this because I really do want to get this record straight once and for all. I worked with Senator Warren, with whom I have the highest regard, in 2000 to stop a very bad bankruptcy bill. And then when I got to the Senate in 2001, early on, there was going to be a vote on another bankruptcy bill. I was deluged, now as a senator, not as a first lady, lobbying and working against this bill. I was deluged by women's groups and children's groups because the version of the bill that was going to be voted on did not protect child support, did not protect vulnerable women and their children from what would happen to them if their partner, their spouse, went into bankruptcy and was able to discharge those obligations. And, literally, people I'd worked with for 30 years came and said, nobody else will do this. You've got to help us. We've got to change that provision. I took that on, and I went to the floor, and I buttonholed the Democrats and the Republicans who were leading that bill. I said, you can't do this. You've got to change that provision. And they did, but they also put it to me. They said, if we change this provision, you have to vote for the bill. Now, that's what happens sometimes. I didn't like the bill any more than I had liked it before. It still had very bad provisions. But I also pushed hard for a deal to protect women and children. So, okay, I held my nose. I voted for it. It never became law. When it came back in 2005, I was against it. I didn't actually get to vote against it because Bill was in the hospital with another heart procedure, but I put out a statement on the floor. You can look at what I said in 2001. You can look at what I said in 2005. And so I'm glad to set this record straight. But this kind of attack by innuendo, insinuation, is really getting old. They can't point to anything. They are grabbing at straws to make this case. But let's ask Senator Sanders' campaign, why did he vote to deregulate swaps and derivatives? One of the key reasons for Lehman Brothers being over-leveraged, collapsing, and helping to bring down the economy. This is a debate that we should be having about what our public records are and where we stand. I have the toughest, most effective campaign plan to take on the entire financial industry. I don't understand why he doesn't join me, because it goes a lot further than anything he is proposing. We have to look at the shadow banking industry. Everybody knows where I stand on this, so I think we should end with the smear and the insinuation and talk about our respective plans.
A lot of your supporters were very upset this last week when some older male pundits